In today's video, we'll look into a scenario. Continue our KaiserOst series. Get so used to saying look into a scenario from like the Empire videos, I guess, and war videos. But let's continue. With a goal of the Imperial Pact being, well, not to die, but it's kind of past that point. Basically all of South America and a few puppets. And while they start nose diving into Peru. And they even take Quito, one of the places they took early on in their imperial goals. With Brazil moving in some forces to push them back to prevent this. But unfortunately, this is all it manages to do. With Peru and Brazil on the front lines here, Chile decides to go deeper, which stresses out the front. But Brazil and Peru make another counteroffensive, although it wasn't successful. And then a stalemate, then a breakthrough over here, and an encirclement, and now a coastal seas. Why a coastal seas? Because the Seas of Lima is happening. And it's a victory for the Americans and allies. But Brazil pushes them back on many fronts. But unfortunately, this front here that they were holding has failed. With Brazil withdrawing to safer areas, more defendable areas along the border. And well, they're in trouble now. But with American troops finally arriving on the Bolivian front, they're able to make some quick progress as they take Sucre and La Paz quickly, and Bolivia surrenders, with Brazil not being able to do much in time. Eventually, the front lines here. Now let's go to the other war going on still. Hasn't that war been going on the last 5 videos, you may be wondering? Yeah, it has. The Imperial Pact is not exactly supporting Japan, despite the fact Japan is imperial. China's an imperial country too. And apparently they see Japan as an aggressive nation. With Japan's advances in this front being pretty successful. But with India and, well, Tibet sending in training for the forces here, that front might stand a bit longer. Because they don't want Japan to get too strong. With many countries going to be liberated from this war. And many territories going to be remade. Even if they didn't fully exist. With Brazil's losses in the north and south leading to its people leading in failed insurrection in Brasilia. And well, Brazil is in trouble. Because, well, the South American Imperial Pact is losing to the American Defense Pact. With Brazilian forces being forced back to here. Until they decide to stop here and hope for the best. Which didn't give it an ability to defend. With Sao Paulo and Rio falling with barely a fight. Did Brasilia exist at this point? I don't know. So they'll surrender, let's say. And now to see the peace treaty there. Let's see how it goes. With the Central American states being created out of Mexico's annexed territory, plus some of Mexico's former territory, like Yucatan and whatever this area is. The Mexico is still there. It's a puppet of the American Pact, along with Brazil, Bolivia, and Peru. They lost lands to the Guianas. That's what they called that country, Guianas. Then this is Venezuela's back. Colombia's back. Ecuador's back and bigger than ever. Paraguay is. And now there's South Brazil and Amazonia. basically, I was like, how can I make another country? And I was like, oh, there's the Amazon. That's how that came into existence. And maybe, yeah. And well, we got them puppeted like Mexico. With Japan going in for the final push, they call it, which pushes on all fronts. They expected to end in a few months, but it takes a bit longer than expected, so it takes 10 months instead of 6 months. Now there's going to be another treaty. And well, a few colonies, like the Congo colony, the Cameroon colony, the Central African colony they have, and the Libyan colony wants independence. And they're told they can have it as long as they stay in this German-led alliance, which is a deal accepted. So let's see what happens. Also, I will also make the Libya, Central German Africa, Congo, and Cameroon all decide they want their independence. But they come to that agreement. So let's see the peace treaty. Puppet expanding a bit. And you can see there's made China. North China, South China, Inner China. And that is Southern. No, that's Yunnan. And that is Mongolia plus Inner Mongolia. But as you can see, some of the colonies gained independence. Just simply because, well, it was easier to do that than try to hold on to them. With them also doing it with German Papua New Guinea, seeing how much easier that is than holding it. They're telling Portugal that they should try it, but Portugal's like, nah. Okay, they're going to be like our timeline. And well, Hungary's probably going to fall apart again, but that's besides the point. And that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, comment. Bye, guys!